What's happening, everybody? I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. Abortion is a button issue here in America and around the world. So before I get into the heart of this matter, let me just say this as I begin. Would you kindly, if you like Tyrone Bowman Tonight, would you please subscribe to this channel and would you kindly hit the like button? And as always, we're striving to be diversified with our programming. Okay, now on to tonight's topic. According to the Washington Post, a doctor who performed an abortion on a 10-year-old rape victim could lose her license. Indiana's Medical Licensing Board will determine as soon as Thursday whether to take any disciplinary action against a doctor who made headlines last year for performing an abortion for a 10-year-old Ohio rape victim after the state's anti-abortion attorney general alleged the doctor violated ethical standards and state reporting laws. Indiana's Republican Attorney General Todd Rokita for nearly a year has pursued punishment for Kathleen Bernard, an OBGYN and an assistant professor at the Indiana University School of Medicine, who performed the abortion in June 2022. Less than a week after Roe v. Wade was struck down, enacting trigger laws. The stakes of Thursday's hearings are significant for Bernard, whose lawyers have refuted Rokita's allegations as baseless and politically motivated. The seven-member Board of Governor appointees can, by a majority vote, either take no action against Bernard or impose a range of disciplinary measures up to and including the immediate termination of Bernard's medical license. Rokita alleges Bernard broke state child abuse reporting laws and federal patient privacy laws by telling an Indianapolis Star reporter about the patient's care. Bernard's lawyers argue she properly reported the incident to a IU Health social worker and did not run afoul of privacy laws when she discussed the patient's case in general and de-identified manner that is typical for doctors. Records obtained by the Washington Post last year show that Bernard reported the girl's abortion to the relevant state agencies ahead of the legally mandated deadline. Corey Voigt, an attorney with Rokita's office, framed Bernard's actions as undermining trust in medical professions and medical privacy and accused her of being brazen in pursuit of her own agenda in his opening statement Thursday. This is about privacy and trust. Privacy is the foundation, as you know, of health care. It's something upon which patients rely, Voigt said. But Alice more calm. One of the attorneys for Bernard was unequivocal in her opening statement that Bernard followed policy and complied with Indiana law. Dr. Bernard could not have anticipated the atypical and intense scrutiny that the story received. Morakal said she did not expect that the politicians would say that she made the story up. She did not expect that people would say that the reporter didn't have sufficient information. The politicalization of this is cause this issue to continue to grow and be a focus. It's not clear how long the hearing will last, though it is expected to extend into the evening with multiple witnesses testifying in person and virtually. Rokita's office drew notice from local reporters from the unusual move to bring in outside counsel from a Washington law firm for a medical licensing board hearing, with his deputies arguing on the state's behalf. Rokita did not attend Thursday's hearing, but appeared to be watching it remotely as he tweeted comments. The 10-year-old's case garnered international attention when it first came to light in a July Indianapolis Star story about pregnant patients coming to Indiana in response to abortion restrictions elsewhere due to trigger laws enacted in the wake of the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization in June. Isn't it ironic that the ones who are making and enacting all these laws are Republican men. My question is this, because a lot of them are very wayward when it comes to their morals. What are you going to do, Mr. Republican MAGA politician, if you slip up and get your young mistress pregnant? Let that sink in. The storyline instantly became a political lightning rod, with abortion rights advocates citing it as an immediate and horrific example of how the end of federal abortion protections was harming women and girls, while anti abortion Republicans dismissed the story as fictitious. But 2 weeks later, a 27-year-old Ohio man was arrested for felony rape after allegedly confessing to the crime. Bernard sued Rokita last year, alleging in her suit his office relied on facially invalid customer complaints to justify multiple duplicative and overboard investigations into law-abiding physicians. An Indiana judge in December denied Bernard's request to block Rokita's efforts, saying it was a matter for the state licensing board. But Marion County Judge Heather Welch also said Rokita acted unlawfully by making public comments about investigating Bernard for potentially wrongdoing, a violation of his office's confidentiality requirements. It's called hypocrisy. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender, never quit.